It's Tekkel Thursday, and as always, on time. And Alberic, nice to see you. Final episode for 2021.
Yeah, it's sad to see the year end like this with our last show. We always like to go every week. We always look forward to the next show. So, but yeah, we'll be back next year, and we'll be back with a bang as we always are. But guys, welcome to another show of Tekkel. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Lekker. My kids just asked me now, hoekom doen julle nou Tekkel op 'n Saterdag? Because for them it's a Saturday. They at home, I'm at home. Their mom, they at home. Ek sê nee, het is Saterdag nie. Natuurlijk a day of reconciliation. And for all the people tuning in tonight, we know many of you are busy already having a nice a barbecue of ons om sê braaivleisvuurtjie. But from our side, we need to wrap things up for the year. And as always, an honor and a privilege to have you online. Alberic, we don't have a guest tonight, but we have a bumper episode. And obviously the highlight, which we will show later on, Swartland High School 6-a-side tournament. Ons was soos royalty getreat, ne?
No, what a day, and I really enjoyed the atmosphere. It's an all-good event. The amount of supporters that were there on the day was just fantastic to see. And the players just took it on, and they were so competitive and fun at the same time. And yeah, we're looking forward to next year's, Sixers even being even bigger and better than this year's one.
No, for sure. And we also had some fan mail, but we'll get to that much later. But let's just have a sneak peek. As always, we start off our episode with some fixes and results, and we have some Premier League to show. A long list of them, and this includes the weekend's Premier League results. And then obviously we know currently we also in a game week where there's midweek fixtures. Daar kan julle spanne sommer lekker raak lees. No major upsets, or am I wrong? Chelsea just sneaking it through, getting a penalty in the death against Leeds United, beating Leeds 3-2. And then Liverpool didn't have it their own way. They had to wait for a penalty to beat Aston Villa. But obviously, all of the top teams, there's no major upsets. All of the top teams getting through.
Yeah, the standout result, we look at all the results, is obviously Man City putting 7 past Leeds United.
Wow.
That's pretty huge, yeah. And especially such a very competitive league. At the same time, I must say, Manchester United coming through with a last gasp goal. In the last couple of minutes of the game was also, one for the fans to remember. It's like you said, there's not a lot of surprises, but we look forward to another bumper weekend coming up.
And obviously, gaan die Everton supporters say, maar it's a big surprise that Crystal Palace for hulle wen 3-1. It's not a big surprise. I believe Everton on their way down. It's not looking good. They're looking to replace their coach as well. And Crystal Palace, although they are not consistent, I also thought that Crystal Palace would beat Everton 3-1, perhaps a bit of a whitewash, but Crystal Palace certainly better this season than they were before, and Everton need to obviously look to try and turn their season around. We know that they play tonight. We're just going to have a sneak peek. There's, I think, 2 games. The third game, obviously, having been cancelled due to COVID. And as Everton team Chelsea, can't get worse.
Yeah, no,
playing the mighty Chelsea, certainly, certainly one of the season favourites. And then Liverpool taking on Newcastle. It's not getting easier for Everton at all.
No, for sure. I mean, Chelsea's also, they're way up there, so they definitely on the eye. Shout out to Marissa. I'm sure she'll be bang vast after the screen for that. And also Liverpool, they've got all the momentum at the moment. They're winning the games that counts, and it's difficult seeing Newcastle, put anything past them.
Yeah, we don't foresee any troubles there for the top teams. I think Chelsea to beat Everton and Liverpool then to beat Newcastle later on. And there you have the fixtures for the coming weekend. LP, I think some of these fixtures will probably be impacted by the coronavirus. We've seen a lot of these fixtures being cancelled. We hope that we see all of these games, but I'm pretty sure that some of these games will be cancelled. It's a pretty sad affair, but it's a reality.
No, we've been faced with this for the last 2 years, so it shouldn't come as a surprise if it does happen. It's a pity though. I think the final game of the weekend for me kind of stands out. The Tottenham versus Liverpool game. Tottenham also, a team that has the goods that can beat Liverpool on any given day. And it's a pity that game gets cancelled because again Tottenham will be able to definitely back themselves to put one past Liverpool.
No, for sure. We're all looking forward to the games, and but we all obviously reality is we're in a pandemic, and we just want the players and everybody to be safe. But there you have the fixes. There we have furlough coming in. Yeah, no, for sure. Furlough, we know based on historic comments on this show, we know Furlough a big Ghana supporter. As 'n bietjie momentum, hulle is bietjie beter as wat hulle was so 'n paar weke terug. Hein Pieters wat ook natuurlik daar betrokke was by die siekse side. Hy sê maar net goeienaand en hy sit in 'n winderige stres by. Yes, ek hoop hy sit in 'n tentie of miskien het hy groot penne.
Ja nee.
So daar's redelike paar mense aanlyn. Daar's julle fixes. LB, ons het gesê ons wil graag voor ons by die fan mail kom. Wil ons net vir die mense almal baie dankie sê wat hierdie, ek wil sê nie net die seisoen 3 nie, maar hierdie hele jaar het hulle ingeskakel en was hulle betrokke, en vanaand staan ons alweer einde se kant toe.
Ja.
Baie suksesvolle jaar, maar ons is ook mindful van die mense wat ons verloor langs die pad. Ons het heel praat tributes gehad op hierdie show en hartseer te jou gehad.
Yeah, no, it's one of those years that, from celebrities and to the people that we know, there's been so many that passed, and even today, for example, an uncle with later I had an uncle that passed away, so my thoughts go out to his family. But yeah, it's just been a crazy year, and everybody does feel it. And hopefully, next year will be a better year, and we can have a lot more to look forward to. But yeah, guys, we've been through the toughest part, and don't give up. We'll get through the pandemic, and we'll come out, with our hands up. So yeah.
No, for sure. And we also had some fan mail coming through. We're going to have a sneak peek. We know that we had a competition running, and there was a lucky winner. She obviously walked away with that sublimated Têkkel Talk Show jersey. Alexis, Aitsa. Sy staan daar voor Woolworths. Maar kyk hoe pragtig lyk sy in hy jersey. Sy maar mooi train LB.
Nee, definitely. En ek moet sê, kyk, as jy bereid is om in Woolworths te stap so tree, dan beteken dit iets, man. So dankie vir dit, Alexis. To just show the support. Thanks for sending us your picks. And guys, we're going to have more of these competitions going into next year as well.
No, for sure. And thanks so much for all of you guys who participated in those competitions. But we need to shift our attention. And there you have it, the Red Bull team. Is weer Furlough daar so met sy niggie, is eintlik sy suster se kind. En lyk vir my, he made sure that her foundation is laid correctly. She's also supporting the Honda Red Bull team. And it was all in anticipation of the big finale of F1 LP. We know where Furlough who Furlough supported, but obviously, baie controversy geweest, né?
No, it was huge, and I must be honest, I was never a big fan of the sport. In fact, I never watched it much, to be frank. But this weekend made me a fan. Yes, there's a lot of controversy around what actually happened in that last lap. But I must say, that made me a Formula One fan. I started after I saw what happened, and I went to previous races and looked at footage. There's some amazing battles, and I'm a convert, so I'm watching F1 every race there will be. I'll be watching definitely. But yeah, fantastic. And there's a lot of controversy around it, and Lewis Hamilton obviously not being able to reach his eighth title. And kudos to him. He's had such a illustrious career, but he's a young guy, up and coming star that is whether it's debatable how he won. The fact that he actually took took Lewis to the end, and going into level peggings into the last lap of the last race of the year, just shows the caliber that Verstappen has, or is at least.
Yeah, I know for sure. And I think the scene was just set for something spectacular to happen. Die tafel was gedek. Twee baie goeie drivers, deadlock op punte, going into a final race. It was just, it was meant to entertain. But surely nobody could have anticipated what we saw on Sunday. Craig Peterson, wat daar so net weer sê, geseend is die wat Tekkel kyk, daar is nog steeds seuns wat huil oor wat seuns wat huil oor die Verstappen en Lewis sage. Wie, kom ek sê vir jou wat, dit was die einde van die wedren. Daar is baie kontroversie. Baie mense sê, jy weet, dit moes nie so geëindig het nie. Ek is een van die ouens wat sê, hoekom moes dit kom tot so 'n scenario waar 'n safety car uitkom en ek wil amper sê Lewis Hamilton half at the mercy of Max Verstappen, Max being on different tires and Lewis being on tires that are, almost 30 laps old. That was 'n bietjie kontroversieel, maar soos ek sê, Gary players say, the more you practice, the lucky you get. And in this scenario, very, very lucky for Max Verstappen and the Red Bull team. Very fortunate for them that the race director, in some way or another, just made a few very controversial calls, and in that, Max Verstappen crowned as the F1 champion for 2021.
We spoke about it earlier today. We were, between the two of us, and you mentioned the fact that the race director decided on the last lap to do this, to make this big call, to make it a spectacle at the expense of two great, warriors, if you can call it that. It's a big call, but it definitely, it made news all across the world, and it's debatable, if it was a good call or not. But you'll definitely have a lot of more Verstappen fans, coming to the fore, and also Lewis Hamilton fans. At the end of the day, it's all about the sportsmanship. It's all about how they actually, carry themselves. And Lewis Hamilton was one of those guys that actually just, made sure that he, congratulated, Max on very sportingly, congratulating him as well. Yeah, no, for sure. He carried himself for many a year, and and obviously that showed this week as well. Also him being knighted. So it's now Sir Lewis Hamilton. I think it'll probably take a bit. Sure. It will be a while before we'll get to a Sir Max.
It will take some time, but you've mentioned it. What a sportsman! It takes some character to get out of the vehicle. You believe you've been hard done by. Toto Wolff also talking into his ear and saying, this is not fair. He gets out of the vehicle and just, he portrays sportsmanship. He walks up to Max Verstappen, shakes his hand, and just the character of Lewis. It's second to none. It's a great character of the guy, because what we saw in the latter part of the race, not proper. It's not proper. It's not proper for a race director to move certain vehicles out of the way to obviously set it up. And we know it's all a pay-per-view and set up for a great spectacle. But here's a guy, after leading 90% of the race, dominating the race, all of a sudden there's a crash. It doesn't go for him. He loses. Obviously, there's still I would say an arbitration case, but he gives away the title to Max Verstappen, winning his very first F1 title. Gets out of the vehicle, takes off his helmet, walks up to his opponent, shakes the hand. It just, it's just pleasing to see, and a lesson to all of us, because I believe that is what makes a sportsman. Even in your lowest moment, perhaps, because he could have surpassed Michael Schumacher. He walks up and portrays that type of character. That, for me, comes up to Lewis Hamilton for sure.
No, fantastic. No, for sure. And that just shows the caliber of person that he is.
Never secret.
And again, Yeah, it's a tricky one. But next year is going to be very interesting to see if Max can, kind of cement himself in that top lineup and make sure that he's, the top, two or three drivers that always finishes every race. And also to see how Lewis will come back. Lewis has that ability to just come out of nowhere. So, yeah, let's hope and see. All I'm going to say is I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be there. I'm going to watch every race. So yeah, I'm sold, guys. I'm sold.
Great. Ek is bly jy saam met my hierdie keer. So yeah, guys, daar so strategy won it for Red Bull. Max was the better driver, all season. I think Max was edging Lewis in terms of the season, but as I say, strategy won. That is, that's really playing lottery. They stop under the safety car. Ek wil amper say, we call it the last throw of the dice in the hope that something changes, and then the one thing that changed was the mind of the race director. I state, listen, 99. Let's move the back markers out of the way. And let's get Max Verstappen right alongside Lewis Hamilton. And at that moment, I believe Lewis knew that he was faced against it. But all in all, a great spectacle. Congratulations to Max Verstappen and the Red Bull team. And what a drive, and what a last performance by Lewis Hamilton. I think he can be very, very proud. Not only about the result, but the way he conducted himself throughout the season, really an inspiration to many, many out there. And I'm sure, I am 100% sure that Lewis Hamilton will retire as the F1 driver with the most championships under his belt. He's got it in him, and I'm pretty sure he will surpass the great Michael Schumacher in the near foreseen future.
No, exactly. Perlo has a question. So, in your opinion, do you think Lewis would have done the same if he had no championships prior to Sunday? Good question.
No, I don't think so. I think Lewis Hamilton's maturity comes with time. It comes with lessons learned. It comes with hardship. And I think if that was his first title aspiration, you would have seen a different Lewis Hamilton. But what we are seeing now is a multiple title holder, perhaps acting bigger than the moment itself, and that is what we saw. There was so much at stake for Lewis Hamilton himself, but to still come out and be that professional, and I think Lewis Hamilton had a big hand to play in Mercedes-Benz's legal pursuit as well. I just think he's a phenomenal leader, but I don't think we would have seen the same Lewis if it was his aspiring first title as well. No, definitely not.
And another question from Victor. Today, Toto says he's not sure if Lewis will return. Thoughts?
Lewis Hamilton will certainly return. I'm not sure whether Toto Wolff will be part of Mercedes-Benz. That is for me, and I'm making the statement because I don't believe Toto Wolff was totally clinical in this last race, and I believe he made a few mistakes in the season as well. I believe that Merck, with the engineering team, they have an edge over Red Bull. Toto made a few very strange calls throughout the season, and again on Sunday, I believe he played lottery with the title. He banked on certain regulations, and obviously there's a lot of variables that you need to take into account. Will Toto be part of Mercedes-Benz? Will Hamilton be part of Mercedes-Benz? I think Hamilton will be back. I think he knows and understands the responsibility that rests on his shoulders to promote the sport for those marginalized and that were not part of the sport. He fully understands it. When he speaks transformation. You can hear it's a highly professional guy that fully understands his role. He'll be back. Will Toto be part of Mercedes-Benz? Mercedes-Benz will obviously know that answer.
There you have it.
Great insert. Thanks so much for those who commented. And for a great season. We also spoke about the controversy throughout the season. And next season, I think, Alberic, we should definitely get some F1 experts on board and make F1. I never knew how big F1 was in South Africa until only a few years back. We've got F1 fanatics, F1 experts, guys that know motor racing in and out, and I think really a sport growing. We're hoping to see Formula One on South African soil in the near foreseen future. Thousands and thousands of youngsters, just idolizing Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, guys, I mean, there's a lot of youngsters on the scene. Drop us a mail, send us, your pick for, young up and coming race drivers that are, in the lower leagues that are obviously climbing their way up. Let us know who they are so we can profile them on Tekkel and give them the the recognition they deserve. Because I mean, we do have a proud history as South Africa. I know the Jody Schechters and those guys that led back in the, I think, 70s or 80s, if I'm not mistaken, were one of the forerunners. And I mean, we have the talent in our ranks, and we want to see. So guys, let us know if you guys know any up and coming stars would like to feature them on the show.
No, for sure. In closing off the motorsport insert, we have obviously two big South African names on the international circuit. Brad Binder being the big name in the MotoGP, but we also have a guy called Van der Linde driving in the global touring cars. I'm not sure what they call it in Germany, but he's also making waves on international circuits, and we hope that Van der Linde comes through, and perhaps we will see him in Formula 2, or even in the long foreseen future, we will have a South African driver representing us on the F1 circuit, and we're certainly looking forward to that. Guys, thanks so much for your input on the F1, but obviously, Alberic, we have to touch on this, our experience of the Swartland High School Old Boys Six-a-side. Vir 'n toernooi wat vir die eerste jaar plaasgevind het, nee. Dat was allemaal lekker. En goeie cricket op show.
No, exactly. The guys still have it. I mean, there was one or two ones that pulled the hammies. And that's probably expected. I think there was a few guys that were, some of the chips that were going around about guys who can fake a hammy, when they're chasing a ball. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, the guys had some great fun, and the type of skills they still have. You can still see the guys be able to bat and to pull one through the covers and pulling one over on the onside, and it's great to see those players. They still have the talent. It's like riding a bicycle. I'm sure you can't just lose that like in one go. So well done to the guys. Everyone they took part was fantastic to see.
Ja, en ek hoop daar's baie van die ouens wat gespeel het, of selfs van die oud skooliere wat online is. Praat 'n bietjie saam met ons. Ons gaan nou kyk na die insert. Great event aan Bertie Gerber en al die manne. Brilliant event. Kom ons kyk 'n bietjie na die hoogtepunte, en dit was net 'n dag wat ons geniet het. Ons moet vir hulle sê, brilliant COVID protocols in general, alles wat baie goed gereël, maar kyk maar self, hier is die highlight package van die Swartland High School Old Boys Six-a-side, a day to remember.
Hi guys, here we are, the Têkkel Talk Show live at the Swartland High School Old Boys Six-a-side in Malmesbury, the much anticipated event, and we are, the last few weeks we were talking about this event on show, and here we are. It seems to be the people are coming in, we've got the teams warming up, and then obviously my colleague Alberic setting up nicely to capture all of the action. We've got a few big hitters and a few big names participating here at the Sixes, so check this out.
dis 'n ongelooflike voorreg om almal hier by die Swartland cricket oval te hê. Dis 'n fantastiese dag met al die oud boys wat kon speel. Mense kan die talent sien, maar die vaardighede is dalk nie meer so lekker op datum nie. Maar ek moet julle eerlik sê, dis 'n fantastiese voorreg dat almal hiernatoe gekom het. Ons sal bitter graag wil hê dit moet 'n jaarlikse instelling word. So welkom vir almal. Dis 'n geleentheid waar ons die vaardighede tentoonstel van ouens wat in die verlede ons nooit gesien het nie, wat nou hier kan wees. En wat lekker is dit 'n lekker gesellige omgewing is waar ons kan hanteer, ons sporttalent kan uitstal, maar ook weer vriendskappe kan opbou. En ek dink dis die belangrikste waar ons weer kontak kan maak met mense van verskillende skole en op 'n baie vriendeliker wyse kan met mekaar gesels. So baie dankie vir al die ouens wat as borge optree vandag. Dit sluit in duisende ouens wat hierso bydraes gelewer. Ek waardeer dit verskriklik baie dankie. Dankie vir almal wat hier is. Dankie vir almal wat die geleenthede vir Bertie Gerber hulle, vir Sanet, Hubert hulle, die ouers wat gehelp het van die cricket spanne. Dis ongelooflik. En dan al die leerders wat ook hier aan bysit. Dankie vir almal se bydrae. Waardeer dit verskriklik. Dankie.
Eerstens julle manne baie dankie vir die opkoms en ja, ek dink die dag verloop vir die weer het ons goed behandel sover. Cricket is baie goeie kwaliteit wat altyd lekker is. Ek dink dit is die opkomdeur. Die opkoms is baie gelukkig nie vir die eerste keer. Dit is iets wat groei. En ons sien uit na nog so 3-4 goeie wedstryde. Die manne geniet dit en dis die belangrikste by die stadion. Hulle 'n paar manne met heimseries getrek het, Stellenberg se ouens dit beteken. Maar ja, hulle moet maar vasbyt want ons nog rond om te kom by die komiteë. Ek kan nie sonder borge nie, dis juist vir die dag vir ons moontlik maak. Ons twee hoofborge, spesiaal dankie Johan en Dion van Nova Feeds, die Manny de Fontes wat altyd help van is 'n proses vir Mamasbury. En dan al die ander borge, baie dankie vir julle input. Ons sien uit na volgende jaar en ons gaan hom nog groter maak.
Yeah, so we are supporting Jumbo All Boys today, having a great day. There's good music, there's good food, good company, and great sports. And we're enjoying ourselves.
We support Old Boys Durbanville, Ivan Raats especially, and yeah, absolutely fantastic day. A lot of people enjoying themselves, good food, fantastic, well organized, yes.
Ek is high performance manager by SA Rugby, so ek kyk na al die junior strukture. So my rol is om hooplik seker te maak Rassie kry die beste talent om mee te werk in Swartland. Nee, dit is maar 'n gesukkel. Ek het op skool cricket gespeel, soos 30 odd jaar gelede. So nee, ek speel eintlik by cricket nie, so maar dis net 'n ongelooflike voorreg om deel te wees van hierdie dag. Dit bring great memories terug.
Ja nee, daardie eerste 4 het ek lekker ingeset. Goed gewees om 'n bal op die bed te kry. En dan gaan we weer gebouw op dit. So kom ons kyk, hoop na die volgende wedstryd op. Dieselfde gaan afloop.
See, some of the teams have younger players here, which we need to talk about. But us older folk come here with pre-existing conditions. No, I came here healthy, but I'm far from it. But we're gonna push through. Yeah.
Het is lekker om vandaag hier op Mamasbury te wees en die old boys hier achter in actie te zien. Ik denk dat het een great initiative van Hoërskool Swartland en hopelijk is het iets wat kan groeien in de jaren wat komt.
Thank you.
Guys, what a day filled with action. We saw a few big sixes and obviously Paarl Gymnasium walking away with a big prize of Swartland Old Boys six-a-side champions for 2021. It was really a great day, well organized. We thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, and I think we have to give a big shout out to all the organizers. They did a fantastic job. We were really impressed by the way everything was so professionally done, and the teams, they handled themselves so well, and they were actually great sportsmen, and not only on the field but off the field as well. So yeah, well done, guys.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to coming back next year. So thanks so much for inviting us, and catch all the action next year when Têkkel Talk Show and Swartland High School when we do it again.
Ja, lekker.
Fantastic.
Lekker om weer te ervaar, man. En ja, kyk, kom ek sê vir jou baie goeie talent on show en in my opinie, my beskeie opinie, die beste span wat wegstap daar met die titel. Wian Smit van Têkkel Gymnasium en Viljoen. Ek kan nie onthou, ek dink hulle was tussen hulle twee het hulle 1 keer of 2 keer hulle paadjie verloor, maar van die oggend tot die middag het Têkkel Gymnasium baie min ander calls gebruik as hulle twee, né? Hulle kon reg die call vir 5-6 beurt ouers die baie beurte en dit sou 'n span verg om hulle te klop, but what an effort by the host Swartland High School playing in the final, but just falling short.
Yeah, no, it's overall. I mean, the cricket was just fantastic. I mean, you can see some of the fielding and the batting. There was 1 or 2 moments where you thought, hey, this guy's not going to catch it, and then there were some spectacular catches. And it just shows. I mean, the guys they still have it, and it's good to see that they can just display it on a platform like the six-a-sides. So yeah, we're definitely going to be there next year. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It was good food. The music was good. The vibe was good. Great people. And yeah, definitely want to be there next year.
No, for sure. To all the organizers, especially those who sponsored the event, putting back into communities, having an event like this, it costs a lot of money and you need sponsors. And I think Bertie mentioned that. So to all the sponsors, for those who came out to support, the VIPs for me was the players. Sommige van die manne, Sean Flynn, yes. En hy voor laaste game toe kon hy nie eens meer hardloop nie. Maar just that sportsmanship, the camaraderie, it was just great to see that on display. And we are certainly coming back. So Bertie of jy vir ons nooi of nie. Miskien. Wie weet, miskien gaan die Têkkel Talk Show sy eie six-a-side cricketspan bymekaar stel.
Sorry, ek kan nie. Jammer, hy kan niks worry. Oor the technical issues, hy nie. Kan niks worry. Gaan sy die betting open vir ons. Ek sal my gewig hou by die umpires gooi, want hy is waar ek sal my kennis ingee, so. Nee, man, look, like I said, the guys are still fit. I mean, these guys are not like they're running around and, with big poopies, and the guys are still fit and they're still doing their thing, So, yeah, there's a lot of training. If you want to join those guys, and have to do some hectic training over the next year to get to that level.
Certainly. Perhaps not the place that we want to go into. We will stick to media and commentary. I'm sure that we are much better just doing that than trying to attempt to pull some of those stunts. But once again, thanks for inviting us. Obviously, we really enjoyed it, and well done once again to Paul Gymnasium for walking away with that title. From my side, certainly well deserved, and the better team on the day. Before we close off this episode, for those of you that tune in every week, die show gaan niks wees sonder julle comments. Dis die twee ouens wat net sit en nonsens gesels hier. We had lekker comments, people coming in, and then obviously we had special guests. So let's have just a brief overview of who we had on the show for not only for series 3, but for the duration of 2021. To our guests out there, thank you for your willingness to be part of the show. And here's a sneak peek of the very familiar faces you saw on this show for 2021. Bekende gezichten,
no, definitely. Some big faces on there. And we had a fantastic time with each and every one. They all had a story to tell. Whether they're up and coming stars or they past legends. So yeah, it's been a great year. We had a fantastic guest on the show, and next year we'll be lining a lot more up and a lot of big names as well. So thanks to all those guests that said yes to joining us on a Thursday night and come having some chit chat with the Tekkel show. We really loved it, really enjoyed it. And yeah, it's like you said, next year is going to be a bumper one, and it's going to be even better.
No, for sure. Just to give you a sneak peek, when we come back next year, for all the motorsport fanatics that joined us, and I saw some of them popping in a few lekker questions, we will be getting into a vehicle ourselves, getting into a rally car, and showing you some of the talent on show. And then we will speak to a young driver making big waves, and he will take us around the circuit in his Polo Cup vehicle. So tune in next year for all of those petrol heads when we take a turn, and we certainly going to show you some motorsport as well. So from our side, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for 2021. We didn't have a guest for our last show, but that is just for us, because we say we encourage a culture of recognition, and tonight we recognize you for being the difference in your community. We recognize you for playing your part, for tuning in every Thursday, but also for being that beacon of hope in your community. So from our side at the Têkkel Talk Show, thank you so much to you for making this show so special, for giving us the encouragement to come here every Thursday and having the chat. Thank you so much for sticking to those COVID protocols and making sure that yourself and the communities around you, that they stay safe. To all the sponsors for making people feel special, for supporting events, you are also a superstar in your community. So from our side at the Têkkel Talk Show, stay safe. Have a blessed Christmas with your family, and may 2022 be as good as you wish. Barik to you and your family. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Volgende jaar, selfde tyd, selfde plek at Tekkel Chat. Keep commenting, keep inspiring, and keep making a difference. Until then, cheers, God bless, and have a good 2022. Bye-bye.